about a developing situation off our coast. WA Health and WA Police are currently monitoring 2 ships which potentially have COVID-19 positive crew on board. The British Chief is currently off the coast of Port Hedland and reported 5 crew have returned positive rapid antigen test results. The other ship is the MV La Stella, which is currently on its way to Fremantle and has reported 6 crew have returned positive rapid antigen test results. At this stage, with no serious illness reported, authorities plan to manage the potentially positive crew members on board the ships. We've been here before many times and we have strict protocols in place on how to manage potentially positive COVID crew members. But this only highlights how easily Omicron can enter our state. As you've heard from what I've just outlined, we are fighting COVID-19 on several fronts. That's why we are raising the alarm today. We called on Western Australians to take action before, and everyone has heeded our calls. Today we ask you again to take action again. Just like we all did with the Delta backpacker cluster. We need to act now and without delay. I'll now hand over to the Health Minister.
Thank you, Premier, and thanks everyone for coming today. I want to start by thanking West Australians for doing the right thing, for getting vaccinated, for using Service WA and for getting tested. Yesterday, just 1,329 people came forward for testing at public clinics. We appreciate those who continue to come forward, but we need to do much better than this. We now have Omicron in our community and we cannot afford to be complacent. There is a serious concern from the Chief Health Officer that we will not be able to get on top of this Coburn cluster. Just 11 people used Safe WA to check in at the business at the centre of this outbreak. We know many more people have attended this business since January 6th, and we urge you to come forward for testing immediately. Given the spread that we have seen already, this business is clearly a high-risk location, and more broadly, my message to West Australians is if you are unwell, please come forward for testing. As we attempt to limit the spread of Omicron in our community, it is crucial that those who need to get tested do so immediately. We have fought off this virus in Western Australia so far, but we know that Omicron is the real game changer. We have seen how quickly Omicron variant takes hold once it enters the community. If you have been to one of the many exposure sites listed on the Healthy WA website, you must also come forward for testing. It is important to keep checking those exposure sites because they change and are updated daily. We have extended the hours of public-run testing clinics to 10 p.m. tonight. So public and state-run testing clinics will be open until 10 o'clock tonight. If you haven't been to an exposure site, there are still very important things that you need to do. If you are in Perth and Peel, wear a mask indoors. If you have been in Perth and Peel region since January 6 but are now elsewhere, you also need to wear a mask indoors. Continue to wash your hands often, can check in using Service WA and Safe WA and keep your distance from others. As we've previously said, the proof of vaccination requirements will remain in place, and there are a few ways that you can show your proof of vaccination in both digital and paper form along with your ID. The quickest way to get proof of vaccinations is to use the Service WA app. As of noon today, there were more than 281,000 people registered for Service WA, and yesterday there was just under 2 million check-ins using Safe WA. So we sincerely thank you all for this. But my strong advice to every West Australian is to get vaccinated and to do so as soon as possible. This includes getting your 3rd dose as soon as you are due. More than 10,000 people were vaccinated in state-run clinics yesterday. There are plenty of appointments available. If you use Vaccinate WA, make sure you're checking state clinics, pharmacies and GPs for bookings. Vaccination is the best way to protect yourself, your family and the most vulnerable people in our community. I'll now hand back to the Premier for questions.